What's up, diver, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Andrew, and today we're going to be talking about something I like to call spiritual momentum. If you're new to this channel, definitely hit the subscribe button, and you're going to see more videos like this that will teach you how to use Catholic principles to improve all aspects of your life. A lot of people struggle with having a routine that will help them keep their spiritual life on track. Sometimes they struggle with things like developing a constant prayer life, or going to mass regularly, or confession regularly, or they struggle with a particular sin or the other. There's a technique that I discovered. It's called spiritual momentum. Now we're turning to a physics class. So momentum is mass times velocity. The bigger the mass, the bigger the momentum, and the bigger the velocity, the bigger the momentum. Obviously, there are only two parts to this. So you can either increase momentum by increasing mass or increasing velocity. Now, how does this apply to Catholicism? In Catholicism, I like to think about spiritual levels as momentum. People who have built enough momentum in a particular level of their life that they now have more authority or more control in that aspect of their lives. Now, when you're looking at mass, I like to think of this as the quote-unquote big guys in religion, in our Catholic faith. We have the deacons, we have the priests and the bishops and the Pope and all these big guys of the hierarchy. I like to think of them as having big mass. Now the laity, maybe not so much. Maybe you're a catechist, or you're an altar server, or you're a choir member, things like that. But so not so much mass, right? But then the velocity is something that everyone can change. The velocity in the spiritual sense is something that you do, like how much you pray and how much you focus on. You meditate and you focus on things that can actually help you to build your spiritual life. Now, it's very difficult for you to increase the mass part. For example, someone like me can't just wake up tomorrow morning and be ordained a bishop. That it doesn't just happen like that. But someone like me can wake up tomorrow morning and do more spiritual stuff, right? So this is something that you need to realize. When you increase your velocity over and over again, your momentum increases. That is why if you stand in front of a moving train, there's going to be serious problems, because first of all, the mass is huge, and then the velocity is huge as well. It's moving very fast, and it can destroy almost anything in its path, right? So if you apply this to the spiritual sense, something that has enough spiritual momentum also has the same impact to destroy everything in its path. Now you may be thinking, oh, but me, I don't have the spiritual mass because I'm not a priest, I'm not a deacon, I'm not things like that. I can only increase the velocity aspect of my spirituality, which means how much I pray, and so I cannot be a train. Well, you don't need to be a train. If you look at a bullet, it doesn't have nearly as much mass as the train does, but it's also very destructive. If you look at a missile or a cannon bomb, it's not as heavy as a train, but it can cause significantly more damage in some sense than a train. Why? Because even though it's very small, the bullet or the missile or the cannon, it has huge velocity, and so it's able to cause serious damage. So if you want to cause serious damage in spiritual life, where you're just breaking through obstacles, spiritual obstacles, and you no longer struggle with sin, and you no longer struggle with all these things that you've been struggling with, all you need to do, you don't need to become a priest. It could be a vocation to be a priest. If that is so, good discernment, man, go be a priest, go be a nun. But you don't have to become a priest, you don't have to become a nun, you don't have to become a bishop or pope before you can have all these effects, all these results that these people have. All you have to do is to do the part that you can do, which is increase the velocity, which is increase what you do, how you pray, going to confession, going to mass. Now, there is an easy way to increase your velocity, right? The spiritual velocity. Let's stop talking about physics now. Let's just do Catholicism. There's an easy way to increase how much you pray, how much you do the things you do on a spiritual level. One of the ways is to track your progress. Something that is not tracked cannot improve. This is fact in all aspects of life. If you're not tracking your progress, you cannot improve. So you track the week. How many times did you say rosary this week? How many times did you go for mass this week? Not just Sundays. How many times did you go during the weekdays? How many times did you go for confession this month? So you track it, and when you track it, you start noticing that there are certain parts that you can increase and you can improve. Because if you know that you prayed only for 15 minutes in a particular day, then you can just tell yourself, well, oh, I can just fit in a rosary in the morning and a rosary in the night, and then all of a sudden I have 40 minutes of prayer in a day, right? So just by looking at how your day went and tracking what you did during the day and tracking the things that spent your time, you can double or even triple your productivity spiritually, right? Other thing you can do is to have an accountability partner, someone who is going to work with you to improve your spirituality. Now, you can find a billion of those on the Youth Dive group. There's a Youth Dive Facebook group, and I'm going to leave a link in the description below, and you can join the group and you can meet so many people who are willing to do this thing with you. All you need to do is to message them and say, hey, I'm a diver, you're a diver, why don't we work on praying the rosary more? I'm going to remind you every morning, you're going to remind me every afternoon, or something like you guys come up with an arrangement. Or you can do it with the people around you, right? In your own house, your brothers, your sisters, your friends, people you meet every single day. You simply tell them, I'm trying to improve this aspect of my life, and I want you to look out for me, right? I want you to ask me questions. Hey, did you do this today? Did you? When you put yourself in that situation, it makes you want to improve even more, because then you can't just be giving bad reports to someone every single day. You have to give them good reports at some point. So naturally you increase, just naturally you increase, right? Just by having someone who is there to monitor your progress or your failures, as the case may be. Okay, so here's the first thing that I want you to do. I want you to just get a list of your day. What happens during your day? How do you spend your day? That's basically what I'm asking you to write down. And I want you to keep a record of that for a week. Every single day, what do you do? And use timestamps. What do you do at this time in the morning? When did you wake up? When did you eat food? When did you, whatever it is that you did during the day. And what you're going to notice is that you'll notice that there's a lot of free time in certain parts of your day where you're just sitting down watching Netflix or scrolling through Instagram or something like that. And you will be able to put in prayers during those times. The only thing I want you to focus on this week is just read your Bible, say one rosary, right? That's all. That's all. Say the rosary once, read your Bible in the morning. That's all. So when you do that for this week, you'll notice that you see it's a lot easier than you thought it was, because you thought that it was so hard and you didn't have time. It's just 15 to 20 minutes. That's all. It doesn't even take up to an hour to do a single rosary. It's so short. And the hardest part is getting yourself to do the first sign of the cross, right? Once you've done that, everything else is easy. The hardest part of saying the rosary, if it's not your habit, is just to get yourself to do that first sign of the cross. The next thing I want you to do is to join the Facebook group. And when you join the Facebook group, I want you to just pick one person to be your accountability partner. You can post it on the group and say, hey, I'm a new diver. I want somebody to be my accountability partner to help me to just fix this aspect of my life, to help me say rosaries more, to help me go to mass more, to help me do. Just if you want to fix something in your life, if you want to do more of something, if you want to build velocity, I want you to come on this journey with me. Who is interested? Anybody. You can private message them, you can post it on the group, and people are going to comment and you're going to see. You can just do that, right? So that's all I want you to do for this week. If you like this video, please subscribe, give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your enemies, share it with people you've never seen in your life. Just share it.